Welcome to Holly's Quiet Harbor. Take a deep breath and let your mind begin to rest. Long ago, in a quiet countryside where soft hills rolled into forests and streams wandered without hurry, there lived a kind man and his 3 daughters. Their home was filled with simple comforts, warm bread, laughter at the table, and the quiet rhythm of days that asked for little and gave enough. One day, the father prepared to leave on a long journey. Before he departed, he gathered his daughters and asked gently, "What shall I bring you when I return?" The eldest, who admired beautiful things, said, "Dear father, I would love a string of pearls." The second smiled and said, "I would like diamonds, if you can find them." But the youngest daughter, who was quiet and thoughtful, said softly, "Dear father, I would like a singing, soaring lark." The father smiled at her, though he did not quite understand why she wanted such a thing. "If I can find one," he said, "I will bring it to you." He traveled far and wide. In bustling towns, he found pearls that gleamed like moonlight. In distant markets, he found diamonds that sparkled like stars. But nowhere could he find a singing, soaring lark. Still, he did not give up. At last, he made his way home through a deep and ancient forest. And as he did so, he came upon a quiet place, unlike any he had seen before. In the center stood a beautiful, peaceful castle, and near it, a tall tree. At the very top of the tree, in the golden light of evening, perched a small bird. It was singing. Not loudly, not sharply, but with a clear, gentle melody that seemed to float in the air. The father's heart lifted. "This must be the one," he whispered. As he approached the tree, the air around him seemed to shift, becoming still, almost watchful. A voice, deep but calm, spoke nearby. "This bird is not lost. It is protected." The father turned. Before him stood a great lion, but not fearsome in the way one might expect. Its presence was steady, almost thoughtful. "I did not know," the father said gently. "I meant no harm. I only wished to bring joy to my daughter." The lion regarded him for a long moment. Then it said, "Take the bird if you wish, but in return, you must give me something of equal value, something dear to you." The father hesitated, but the thought of his daughter's joy, her quiet hope, softened his doubt. "I will honor my promise," he said at last. The lion inclined its head, and so the father took the little bird, whose song seemed to glow softly in the evening air. When he returned home, his daughters ran to greet him. The eldest received her pearls, the second her diamonds, and the youngest when she saw the singing, soaring lark. Her face lit with such joy that the whole room seemed brighter. But the father's heart was heavy. That night, he told her everything, the promise he had made, the unknown path ahead. The youngest daughter listened quietly. Then she took his hand and said, "Dear father, you gave your word, and kindness must be honored. I will go." Her voice was calm, not afraid, but certain. The next morning, she set out toward the forest. The journey was peaceful. The trees whispered gently in the breeze. The light filtered softly through the leaves. And when she reached the castle, she was welcomed, not with shadows or fear, but with quiet warmth. The lion appeared once more. But now, there was something different. Not only strength, but gentleness. As evening fell, the world shifted, and before her stood not a lion, but a man. Kind-eyed, quiet, thoughtful. The castle itself seemed to breathe with life, and she understood, without needing to be told, that this was a place shaped by enchantment, but not one meant to harm. They came to know one another slowly, through quiet conversations, through shared walks beneath the trees, through the soft unfolding of trust. Days passed like pages in a well-loved book, and in time, affection grew. Not sudden, not overwhelming, but steady and true. One day she said, "I would like to visit my family." He nodded. "Then you shall go and return when you wish. You are not bound here. You are welcomed." When she arrived home, her family rejoiced. They had feared for her, but now saw her safe and even happy. She stayed for a time. And when she returned to the forest, she did so willingly. Later, she visited again, this time bringing her husband with her. He came with care, and she promised to protect the quiet magic that surrounded him. But during the celebrations, something small and unnoticed disturbed the stillness. And when morning came, he was gone. Not lost, not harmed, but changed. She felt it immediately, not fear, but absence, like a melody that had faded into the distance. And so, she began a journey, not one of danger, but of devotion. She walked through valleys and over hills. She followed signs, a white feather resting on the path, a quiet sense of direction and a knowing in her heart. She asked the sun, "Have you seen where he has gone?" The sun, warm and steady, said, "I've not, but take this. It will help you when the time is right." She asked the moon, "Have you seen him in your long watching?" The moon replied softly, "I have not, but keep this and trust the moment you will need it." And the wind, moving through all things, whispered, "Keep going." So she did, day after day, step after step, not rushing, not doubting. At last, she came to a distant place where something felt familiar. There, she found him. Not lost, not changed beyond knowing, but waiting. And when he heard her voice, something within him stirred. Like waking from a long and quiet dream, he turned, and in that moment, everything became clear again. They returned together. When they reached home, the house was warm, the air was soft, and the singing soaring lark still sang its gentle song. And so they lived their days, not in grandeur, but in quiet happiness. With morning light through the windows, with evening songs, with the steady comfort of being known. And now, as the story drifts to its close, you can imagine that gentle song, soft and distant, floating through the air. A small bird soaring lightly, carrying its melody into the night. And as you listen, your thoughts can grow quieter, your breath softer, until, like the lark, you drift gently into rest. Sleep now, peacefully and without worry, as the night carries you onward.